Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chapter 20. Shri Shuka Uvacha Atah Param Plakshadinam Pramanalakshana Samstanato Varsha Vibhaga Upavaryate. The great sage Sukadeva Goswami said, "Hereafter I shall describe the dimensions, characteristics, and forms of the 6 islands, beginning with the island Plaksha. Jambudvipoyam yavat pramana vistarasthavata ksharodhaina pariveshtito yata jamvarakyena lavanodhadhirapi tato dviguna vishalena plakshakyena parikshipto yatha parikha bahyopavanena plaksho jambu pramano dvipakyakaro hiranmaya uttito yatagnirupaste saptajihvastasyadhipatihi priyavratatmaja igmajihva swam dvipam saptavarshani bhipajya saptavarshanamabhya atmajebhya akalpya swayamatmayogeno pararama. As Sumeru mountain is surrounded by Jambudvipa, Jambudvipa is also surrounded by an ocean of salt water. The breadth of Jambudvipa is 100,000 yojanas or 800,000 miles, and the breadth of saltwater ocean is the same. As a moat around a fort is sometimes surrounded by garden-like forest, the saltwater ocean surrounding Jambudvipa is itself surrounded by Plakshadvipa. The breadth of the Plakshadvipa is twice that of the saltwater ocean, in other words 200,000 yojanas or 1,600,000 miles. Of Plakshadvipa there is a tree shining like gold and as tall as Jambu tree on Jambudvipa. As its root is the fire with 7 flames, it is because this tree is a Plaksha tree that the island is called Plakshadvipa. Plakshadvipa was governed by Idmajihva, one of the sons of Maharaja Priyavrata. He endowed the 7 islands with the names of his 7 sons, divided the islands among the sons, and then retired from the active life to engage in devotional service of the Lord. Shivam Yavasam Subhadram Shantam Kshemam Mamruta Mabhayamiti Varshani Teshu Girayo Nadhyascha Saptaivabhignataha Manikuto Vajrakuta Indraseno Jyotishman Suparno Hiranyashtivo Megamala iti Setu Shailaha Aruna Rumnagnirasi Savitri Suprabhata ऋतंभरा सत्यंभरा इति महानद्यः यासां जलोपस्पर्शन विधूतरजस्तमसो हंस पतंगोर्ध्वार्यनसत्यांगसंज्ञाश्चत्वारो वर्णाः सहस्रायुषो विबुधोपमसन्दर्शन प्रजननाः स्वर्गद्वारं त्रयाविद्यया भगवन्तं त्रयीमयं सूर्यमात्मानं यजन्ते. The 7 islands, Varshas, are named according to the names of these 7 sons: Shiva, Yavasya, Subhadra, Shanta, Kshema, Amrita, and Abhaya. In those 7 tracts of land, there are 7 mountains and 7 rivers. The mountains are named Manikuta, Vajrakuta, Indrasena, Jyotishman, Suparna, Hiranyastiva, and Maghamala, and the rivers are named Aruna, Drumna, Angirasi, Savitri, Saptabhata, Ritambhara, and Satyambhara. One can immediately be free from material contamination by touching or bathing in those rivers, and the 4 castes of the people who live in Plakshadvipa, the Hamsas, Patangas, Urdhvayanas, and Satyangas, purify themselves in that way. The inhabitants of Plakshadvipa live for 1,000 years. They are beautiful like demigods, and they also beget children by the demigods. By completely performing the ritualistic ceremonies mentioned in the Vedas, and by worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead as represented by Sun God, they attain Sun, which is a heavenly planet. पत्नस्य विष्णोरूपं यत्सत्यस्यर्थस्य ब्रह्मणः अमृतस्य च मृत्योश्च सूर्यमात्मानमीमहीति. This is the mantra by which the inhabitants of Plakshadvipa worship the Supreme Lord. Let us take shelter of the Sun God, who is a reflection of Lord Vishnu, the all-expanding Supreme Personality of Godhead, the oldest of all persons. Vishnu is the only worshipable Lord. He is the Vedas, he is religion, and he is the origin of all auspicious and inauspicious results. Plakshadishu panchasu पुरुषाणामायुरिन्द्रियमोजः सहोबलं बुद्धिविक्रम इति च सर्वेषामौत्पत्तिकी सिद्धिरविशेषेण वर्तते. O King, longevity, sensory prowess, physical and mental strength, intelligence and bravery are naturally and equally manifested in all the inhabitants of the 5 islands headed by Plakshadvipa. Plakshaha swasamanenekshurasodenavruto yata tata dvipopi shalmalo dviguna vishalaha samanena surodenavruta Vrungte. Lakshadvipa is surrounded by an ocean of sugarcane juice, equal in breadth to the island itself. Similarly, there is then another island, Salmalidvipa, twice as broad as Plakshadvipa, 400,000 yojanas or 3,200,000 miles, and surrounded by an equally broad body of water called Surasagara, the ocean that tastes like liquor. Yatra ha Vaishalmali plakshayama yasyam vavakila nilaya mahur bhagavataschandaha stutaha पतत्रिराजस्य सा द्वीपहृतये उपलक्ष्यते. On Salmali Dvipa, there is a Salmali tree from which the island takes its name. That tree is as broad and tall as the Plaksha tree. In other words, 100 yojanas, 800 miles, broad and 1100 yojanas or 8800 miles tall. Learned scholars say that this gigantic tree is the residence of Garuda, the king of all birds and the carrier of Lord Vishnu. In that tree, Garuda offers Lord Vishnu his Vedic prayers. Tadvipadhipatihi priyavrataatmajo yajnabahuhu swasutebhyah saptabhyastannamani saptavarshani vyabhajat surochanam saumanasyam ramanakam devavarsham paribradramapyayanama vijñatamiti. The son of Maharaja Priyavrata, named Yajnabahu, the master of Salmali Dvipa, divided the island into 7 tracts of land, which he gave to his 7 sons. The names of those divisions, which correspond to the names of the sons, are Surochana, Saumanasya, Ramanaka, Devavarsha, Paribhadra, Apyayana, and Avignata. Teshu varshadrayo nadhascha saptaivabhignataha swarasaha shata shrungo vamadevaha kundo su mukundaha pushpavarshaha sahasrashrutiriti anumatihi sinivali saraswati kuhu rajani nanda raketi. In those tracts of lands there are 7 mountains: Swarasa, Satashringa, Vamadeva, Kunda, Mukunda, Pushpavarsha, and Sahasrasruti. There are also 7 rivers: Anumati, Sinivali, Saraswati, Kuhu, Rajani, Nanda, and Raksha. These are still exciting. Tadvarsha Purushaha Shrutadhara Viryadhara Vasundareshandhara Sangnya Bhagavantam Vedamayam Somamatmanam Vedena Yajante. Strictly following the cult of Varnashrama Dharma, the inhabitants of those islands, who are known as Shrutidharas, Viryadharas, Vasundaras, and Ishandharas, all worship the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, named Soma, the moon god. Swagobhi Pitrudevebhyo Vibhajan Swagobhi Pitrudevebhyo Vibrujan Krishna Shuklayoho Prajanam Sarvasam Rajandha Mo Somona Astviti. The inhabitants of Salmali Dvipa worship the demigod of the moon in the following words. By his own rays, the moon god has divided the month into 2 fortnights known as Shukla and Krishna for the distribution of food grains to the pitas and demigods. The demigod of the moon is he who divides time, and he is the king of all the residents of the universe. We therefore pray that he may remain our king and guide, and we offer him our respectful obeisances. एवं सुरोदाब्धहिस्तद्विगुणः समानेनावृतो धृतोदेन यथा पूर्वः कुशद्वीपो यस्मिन् कुशस्तम्भो देवकृतस्तद्वीपाख्याकरो ज्वलन इवापरः स्वशस्परोचिषा disho virajayati. Outside the ocean of liquor is another island known as Kusadvipa, which is 800,000 yojanas or 6,400,000 miles wide, twice as wide as the ocean of liquor. As Salmalidvipa is surrounded by the liquor ocean, Kushadvipa is surrounded by an ocean of liquid ghee as broad as the island itself. On Kushadvipa, there are clumps of kusha grass, from which the island takes its name. The kusha grass, which was created by the demigods by the will of the Supreme Lord, appears like a second form of fire, but with very mild and pleasing flames. Its young shoots illuminate all directions. Tadvipapatihi prayavrato rajan hiranyareta nama swam dvipam saptabhyah swaputrebhyo yata bhagam vibhajya swayam tapa atishtata nadrudha ruchi guptastutyvrati viviktavama devanamabhyah. O king, another son of Maharaja Priyavrata, Hiranyareta, was the king of this island. He divided it into 7 parts, which he delivered to the 7 sons according to the rights of inheritance. The king then retired from family life to engage in austerities. The names of those sons are Vasu, Vasudana, Drudharuchi, Stutyavrata, Nabhigupta, Vivikta, and Vamadeva. Tesham varsheshu सीमाघिरयो नद्यश्चाभिर्ह्याताः सप्त सप्तैव चक्रश्चतुः शृङ्ग कपिलश्चित्रकूटो देवानीक ऊर्ध्वरोमा द्रविण इति रसकुल्या मधुकुल्या मित्रविन्दा श्रुतविन्दा देवगर्भा धृतच्युता मंत्रमालेति. In those 7 islands, there are 7 boundaries known as Chakra, Chatushrunga, Kapila, Chitrakuta, Devanika, Urdhvaroma, and Dravina. These are also 7 rivers. There are also 7 rivers known as Ramakulya, Madhukulya, Mitravinda, Stuthavinda, Devagarbha, Ghrutachyuta, and Mantramala. Yasam payobih kushadvipaukasah kushalako kulakasangha bhagavantam jatavedasarupinam karma kaushalena yajante. The inhabitants of the islands of Kushadvipa are celebrated as the Kushalas, Kovidas, Abhiyuktas, and Kulakas. They are like the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras respectively. By bathing in the waters of those rivers, they all become purified. They are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies according to the orders of the Vedic scriptures. Thus, they worship the Lord in this aspect as the demigod of fire. परस्य ब्रह्मणा साक्षात् जातवेदोऽसि हव्यवाट् देवानां पुरुषाङ्गानां यज्ञेन पुरुषं यजेति. There is a mantra by which the inhabitants of Kushadvipa worship the fire god. O fire god, you are a part of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, and you carry to him all the offerings of sacrifices. Therefore, we request you to offer the sacrifice of Godhead. Therefore, we request you to offer the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the yagnic ingredients which are offering the demigods. The yagnic ingredients we are offering the demigods, for the Lord is the real enjoyer. Tata drutodadbahi kraunchadvipo dvigunaha swamanena kshirodena parita upaklupto vruto yatha kushadvipo drutodena yasmin krauncho nama parvatarajo dvipa nama nirvartaka aste. Outside the ocean of clarified butter is another island known as Kraunchadvipa, which has the width of 1,600,000 yojanas or 12,800,000 miles, twice the width of the ocean of clarified butter. As Kushadvipa is surrounded by the ocean of clarified butter, Kraunchadvipa is surrounded by the ocean of milk, as broad as the island itself. On Kraunchadvipa, there is a great mountain known as Krauncha, from which the island takes its name. Yosau guhapraharanonmatita nitambha kunjopi kshirodena sichyamano bhagavata varunenabhi gupto vibhayo babhuva. Although the vegetables living on the slopes of the Mount Krauncha were attacked and devastated by the weapons of Kartikeya, the mountain has become fearless because it is always bathed on the sides of the ocean of milk and protected by Varunadeva. Tasminnapi prayavrato dhruta prushto namadhipatihi स्वे द्वीपे वर्षाणि सप्त विभज्य तेषु पुत्रनामसु सप्त रिक्ताधान् वर्षपान् निवेश्य स्वयं भगवान् भगवतः परमकल्याण यशस आत्मभूतस्य हतेश्चराणारविन्धमुपजगाम. The ruler of the island was another son of Maharaja Priyavrata. His name was Ghruta, and he was a very learned scholar. He also divided his own island among his 7 sons. After dividing the island into 7 parts, named according to the names of his sons, Ghruta Maharaja completely retired from the family life and took shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, the souls of all souls, who had all auspicious qualities. Thus he attained perfection. Amo madhuruho megaprushtaha sudhama brajishto lohitarno vanaspati dhruta prushtasu tastesham वर्षारिरयः सप्त सप्तैव नद्यश्चाभिख्याताः शुक्लो वर्धमानो भोजन उपबर्हिणो नन्दो नन्दः सर्वतो भद्र इति अभय अमृतौघा आर्यका तीर्थवती रूपवती पवित्रवती शुक्लेति. The sons of Maharaja Ghृतप्रस्था were named Ama, Maharuha, Meghaprastha, Sudama, Brajishta, Lohitarna and Vanaspati. In their island there are 7 mountains which indicate the boundaries of 7 tracts of land, and there are also 7 rivers. The mountains are named Shukla, Vardhamana, Bhojana, Upabarhina, Nanda, Nandana and Sarvato Bhadra. The rivers are named Abhaya, Amrutauga, Aryaka, Tirthavati, Rupavati, Pavitravati and Shukla. Yasam Pavitra Mamala Mupayujjanaha Purusha Rushabhadra Veenadevaka Sangnya Varsha Purusha Apomayam Devamapam Purnenanjalina Yajante. The inhabitants of Kraunchadvipa are divided into 4 castes called the Purushas, Rishabhas, Dravinas and Devakas. Using the waters of those sanctified rivers, they worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by offering a palmful of water at the lotus feet of Varuna, the demigod who has a form of water. Apah Purushaviryastha Punantir Bhurbhuvasuvaha Tanah Punitami Vagnihi Sprushatamatmana Bhuva iti. The inhabitants of Kraunchadvipa worship with this mantra: O water of the rivers, you have obtained energy from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, you purify the three planetary systems known as Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka, Swarloka. By your constitutional nature, you take away sins, and that is why we are touching you. Kindly continue to purify us. Evam purastat kshirodhat parita upaveshitaha shakadvipo dvatrimshallakshayojana yamaha samanena cha dhadimandodena parito yasmin shako nama mahiruhaha Shvakshetravyapa Deshako Yasyaha Mahasurabhigandhastam Dvipamanuvasayati. Outside the ocean of milk is another island, Shakadvipa, which has the width of 3,200,000 yojanas or 25,600,000 miles. As Kraunchadvipa is surrounded by its own ocean of milk, Shakadvipa is surrounded by an ocean of churned yogurt as broad as the island itself. In Shakadvipa, there is a big shaka tree from which the island takes its name. This tree is very fragrant. Indeed, it lends its scent to the entire island. Tasyapi prayavrato ekadipatir namna meghatidhihi sopi vibhajya saptavarshani putranamani teshu swatmajan puroja vamanoja vapava man dhumranika chitrarepa bahurupa vishwadhara sangyan nidhapyadhipatin swayam bhagavatyananta aveshita matistapovanam pravivesha. The master of this island, also one of the sons of Priyavrata, was known as Medatithi. He also divided his island into 7 sections, named according to the names of his own sons, whom he made the kings of that island. The names of these sons are Purojava, Manojava, Pavamana, Dhumranika, Chitrarepa, Bahurupa, and Vishwadhara. After dividing the island and situating his sons as its rulers, Medatithi personally retired, and to fix his mind completely upon the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he entered a forest suitable for meditation. Yetesham varsha maryadagirayo nadhascha saptaiva ishana urushrungo balabhadraha shatakesaraha sahasrasrotro devapalo mahanasa iti anangayurdha ubhayas prushtira parajita panchapadi sahasra srutir nija dhrutiriti. For these lands also there are 7 mountains and 7 rivers. The mountains are Ishana, Urushringa, Balabhadra, Satakeshara, Sahasrastotra, Devapala, and Mahanasa. The rivers are Anaga, Ayurdha, Ubhayaspriti, Aparajita, Panchapadi, Sahasrasruti, and Nijadhruti. Tadvarsha Purusha Rutavrata Satyavrata Dhana Navratanu Namano Bhagavantam Vaivyatmakam Pranayamavi Dhutara Jastamasaha Parama Samadhina Yajante. The inhabitants of these islands are also divided into 4 castes: Ritavrata, Satyavrata, Danavrata, Anuvrata, which exactly resemble Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra. They practice pranayama and mystic yoga, and in trance they worship the Supreme Personality in the form of Vayu. Antah pravishya bhutani yo bhibartyatmaketubihi antaryamishvara sakshat patu no yadvashe sputam. The inhabitants of Sakadvipa worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Vayu in the following words: O Supreme Person, situated as a supersoul within the soul, you direct the various actions of the different airs, such as prana, and thus you maintain all living entities. O Lord, O Supersoul of everyone, O Controller of cosmic manifestations, under whom everything exists, may you protect us from all dangers. Evameva tadimando paratah pushkaradvipastato dvigunayama samantata upakapkalpitah samanena swadudhakena samudrena viharavruto yasmin bruhat karam ज्वलनशिखामल कनकपत्रायुतायुतं भगवतः कमलासनस्याध्यासनं परिकल्पितम्. Outside the ocean of yogurt is another island known as Pushkara Dvipa, which is 6,400,000 yojanas or 51,200,000 miles wide, twice as wide as the ocean of yogurt. It is surrounded by an ocean of very tasteful water as broad as the island itself. On Pushkara Dvipa, there is a great lotus flower with 100 million pure golden petals as effulgent as the flames of fire. That lotus flower is considered the sitting place of Lord Brahma, which is the most powerful living being and who is therefore sometimes called Bhagavan. तद्वीपमध्ये मानसोत्तरनामैक एकार्वाचीन वर्षयोर्मयार्धाचलोयुतयोजनो च्छ्रायायास्मो यत्र तु चतसृषु दिक्षु चत्वारि पुराणि लोकपालानामिन्द्रादीनां यदुपरिष्टात् सूर्यरथस्य मेरुं परिभ्रमतः संवत्सरात्मकं चक्रं देवानामहोरात्र्याभ्यां परिभ्रमति. In the middle of that island is a great mountain named Manasottara, which forms the boundary between the inner side and the outer side of the island. Its breadth and height are 10,000 yojanas, 80,000 miles. On that mountain, in the four directions, are the residential quarters of the demigods, such as Indra. In the chariot of the sun god, the sun travels on the top of the mountain in an orbit called Samvatsara, encircling Mount Meru. The sun's path on the northern side is called Uttarayana, and the path on the southern side is called Dakshinayana. One side represents a day for the demigods, and the other represents their night. Tadvadvipasyaphyathipatihi prayavrato वीतिहोत्रो नामैतस्यात्मजौ रमणकधातकी नामानौ वर्षपति नियुज्य स स्वयं पूर्व जवद्भगवत्कर्मशील एवास्ते. The ruler of this land, the son of Maharaja Priyavrata, named Vitihotra, had two sons named Ramanaka and Dhataka. He granted the two sides of the island to these two sons and then personally engaged himself in activities for the sake of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like his elder brother Medatiti. Tadvarsha Purusha Bhagavantam Brahmarupinam Sakarmakena karmanāradhayantīdham chodaharanti. For the fulfillment of material desires, the inhabitants of this tract of land worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead as represented by Lord Brahma. They offer prayers to the Lord as follows. Etat karmamayam lingam brahmalingam janorchayet ekantamadvayam shantam tasmai bhagavate nama iti. Lord Brahma is known as Karmamaya, the form of ritualistic ceremonies, because by performing ritualistic ceremonies one may attain his position, and because the Vedic ritualistic hymns become manifest from him. He is devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead without deviation. and therefore in one sense he is not different from the Lord. Nonetheless, he should be worshipped not as the monists worship him, but in duality. One should always remain a servitor of the Supreme Lord, the supreme worshipable deity. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto the Lord Brahma, the form of manifest Vedic knowledge. ऋषिरुवाच ततः परस्तालोकालोकनामाच्चलो लोकालोकयोरन्तराले परित उपक्षिप्तः. Therefore, beyond the ocean of sweet water and fully surrounding it is the mountain named Lokaloka, which divides the countries that are full of sunlight from those lit by the sun. यावन्मानसोत्तरमेर्वोरन्तरं तावती भूमिः काञ्चन्यन्याधर्षत लोपमा यस्यां प्रहितः पदार्थो न कथञ्चित् पुनः प्रत्युपलभ्यते. तस्मात् सर्वसत्त्वपरिधृतासीत्. Beyond the ocean of sweet water is a tract of a land as broad as the area between the middle of the Mount Sumeru and the boundary of Manasottara mountain. In that tract of land there are many living beings. Beyond it, extending to the Lokaloka mountain, is another land which is made of gold. Because of its golden surface, it reflects light like the surface of the mirror, and any physical article that falls on that land can never be perceived again. All living entities therefore have abandoned that golden land. Lokaloka iti samakhya yadanenachalena lokalokasyantarvartinavasthapyate. Between the lands inhabited by the living entities and those that are uninhabited stands the great mountain which separates two and which is therefore celebrated as Lokaloka. Salokatrayante parita Ishwarena vihito yasmat suryadinam dhruvapavarganam jyotirgananam ghapastayorvachinam strim loka navitanvanana kadachit parachina bhavittu mrutsahante tavadvunnaha nayamaha. By the supreme will of Krishna, the mountain known as Lokaloka has been installed as the outer border of the three worlds, Bhurloka, Bhuvarloka and Suvarloka, to control the rays of the sun throughout the universe. All the luminaries of the sun up to Dhruvaloka distribute their rays throughout the three worlds, but only within the boundary formed by this mountain. Because it is extremely high, extending even higher than Dhruvaloka, it blocks the rays of the luminaries, which therefore can never extend beyond it. Etavam loka vinyaso manalakshana samstabhir vichintitaha kavibhih sa tu paschashatkoti bhugolasya turiya bhagoyam lokalokachalah. Learned scholars who are free from mistakes, illusions, propensities to cheat have thus described the planetary systems and their particular systems. measurements, and locations. With great deliberation, they have established the truth that the distance between Sumeru and the mountains known as Loka Loka is 1/4 of the diameter of the universe, in other words, 125 million yojanas. तदुपरिष्टाच्चत चत शुश्वाशाख्यात्मयोनिना किल जगद्गुरुणा धिनिवेशिता ये द्विरदपयत ये द्विरदपतय ऋषभः पुष्करचूडो वामनोपराजित इति सकललोकस्थितिहेतवः. On the top of the Loka Loka mountain are the four Gajapatis, the best of the elephants, which were established in the four directions by Lord Brahma, the supreme spiritual master of the entire universe. The names of those elephants are Rishabha, Pushkara Chuda, Vamana, and Aparajita. They are responsible for maintaining the planetary systems of the universe. Tesham swavibhutinam lokapalanam cha vivida viryopa brumhanaya bhagavan parama mahapurusho mahavibhuti patirantaryamyatmano vishuddhasattvam dharmajnana-vairagyaishwaryadrashta mahasiddhyupalakshanam vishwaksenadhi swaparshadapravaraihi parivarito nija varayudho pashobitair nija bhujadandaihi sandharayamanastasmin girivare samantat sakala lokasvastaya aste. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the master of all transcendental opulences and the master of all spiritual sky. He is the Supreme Person, Bhagavan, the super soul of everyone. The demigods, led by Indira, the King of Heaven, are entrusted with seeing to the affairs of the material world to benefit all living beings in all the varied planets and to increase the power of those elephants and of the demigods. The Lord manifests himself on top of the mountains in a spiritual body, uncontaminated by the modes of material nature, surrounded by his personal expansions and assistants like Vishwaksena. He exhibits all his perfect opulences, such as religion and knowledge, and his mystic powers, such as Anima, Lagima, and Mahima. He is beautifully situated, and he is decorated by the different weapons in his four hands. Akalpamevam vesham gata yesha bhagavan atmayogamayaya viranchita vividaloka yatra gopiyayetyarthaha. The various forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Narayana and Vishnu, are beautifully decorated with different weapons. The Lord exhibits those forms to maintain all the varied planets created by his potency, Yogamaya. Yontarvistara yetena hyaloka parimanam cha व्याख्यातं यद्बहिर्लोकालोकाचलच्चलात् ततः परस्ताद्योगेश्वरगतिं विशुद्धामृदाहरन्ति. My dear king, outside Loka Loka mountain is the tract of the land known as Aloka Varsha, which extends for the same breadth as area within the mountain. In other words, 125 million yojanas. Beyond Aloka Varsha is the destination of those who aspire for liberation from the material world. It is beyond the jurisdiction of the material modes of nature, and therefore it is completely pure. Lord Krishna took Arjuna through this place to bring back the sons of the Brahmanas. Santana Gopala Charitram in the Skandam. Andamadhyagata Suryo Dhyava Bhumyor Yadantaram Suryandagolayermardhye Kotyastu Panchavimshatihi. The sun is situated vertically in the middle of the universe, in the area between Bhurloka and Bhuvarloka, which is called Antariksha, outside space. The distance between the sun and the circumference of the universe is 25 koti yojanas, 2 billion miles. Rutenda yesha yetasmin yadabhut tato martanda iti vyapadeshaha hiranyagarbha iti yadviranyanda samudbhavaha. The sun god is also known as Vairaja, the total material body for all living entities. Because he entered this dull egg of the universe at the time of the creation, he is also called Martanda. He is also known as Hiranyagarbha because he received his material body from Hiranyagarbha. Suryena hi vibhajyante dishaha swayam dhaurmahi bhida swargapavargau naraka rasaukamsi cha sarvashaha. O king, the sun god and the sun planet divide all the directions of the universe. It is only because of the presence of the sun that we can understand what the sky, the higher planets, this world, and the lower planets are. It is also only because of the sun that we can understand which places are for material enjoyment and what are for liberation and what are hellish and subterranean. Devatiryang sarisrupasavirudham sarvajivaniकायानां surya atma drugishwaraha. All living entities, including demigods, human beings, animals, birds, insects, reptiles, creepers, and trees, depend upon the heat and light given by the sun god from the sun planet. Furthermore, it is because of the sun's presence that all living entities can see, and therefore he is called Drug Ishvara, the personality of Godhead presiding over sight. Thus ends the chapter entitled Studying the Structure of the Universe. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,